right. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hey, Cal. Um, Welcome to the Smuff Academy. I think we're on technically episode 4 because we did an intro, which is like indices 0 in computer science. Also, I got to be very careful not to move my head too sharp because I was watching one of the other episodes. I apologize. The microphone gets a little scratchy, but the message remains the same. All of these things, all of these key points that we're hitting on, and look, it's very heavy here. Like we've got like the cyberbullying and the theft. This is actually probably the most concerning of all of it. Well, no, this is the most concerning. The predation and the theft, and then this is also like all three. These are like the Cerberus of. Actually, I don't even like saying that because Cerberus is a good boy. You know, the three-headed dog. Like these are the things. Cerberus will bite you for that one, or that one. There you go. Let's talk about one that's a combination of all three. OnlyFans. Now, I wonder if this one's going to get bleeped too. So, yep, it is bleeped. So, that's fine. That's adult content. Let's go ahead and, let's just say adult content. And actually, this might get bleeped too, because basically, adult content is the sussy stuff that people are okay with. That people, I mean, I guess it might as well say, like, some people take videos or content. Some people take videos or pictures of themselves for other adults, and it's just something adults do. So in case any kids are stumbling across this, just know that that's a thing. I mean, it's like artwork of a different nature. Hold on, I'm going to have some coffee. Hopefully it doesn't make it all scratchy. But here are the concerning things about it. And I've actually had some experience with this. Well, actually, let's back up a little bit. So I used to be a driver for a couple of adult dancers, private dancers that there was a couple of ladies that would make money to dance for a bunch of gentlemen. Now, they weren't full service. That's a key term that meant that you would do more than dancing. But the dancing was the gig, and they would get decent amount of money for it. We're talking hundreds of dollars, but like maybe even thousands. But that's them. That was their boss move. So as far as as far as I was concerned, they were using their feminine wiles to make money while I was over making money doing other things like, you know, who's to judge? Like, and money's a tool. And I think if everybody had even the perception that they didn't need a lot of money, then, a lot of those things would go away. But the adult content, that's going to stick around forever. People want what they want. But the problem with that is if it's, well, one, not adult. So let's go over here. Pirated AC. Pirated adult content. Now, the problem with that is there's many problems. In fact, let's go ahead and talk about the problems. So the first one, age verification. So the one that so some lady reached out to me because I stood up for an OnlyFans girl, age verification. There we go. Question mark. You have no idea of knowing if they are of age. If it is pirated content, they could have stolen it from somebody. Like, remember when we were talking about the blackmail? Where is it? Yeah, sussy blackmail. So either they're forcing the sussy pics or they're ransoming to not leak the sussy pics. But if you're forcing someone, especially someone underage, and you get their pictures, then you are spreading CSM, I think it is. And I don't even want to try to type that on here, but, ask anybody who's been to prison what they think about child exploitative material, and they'll let you know real quick. I mean, really anyone, but I say specifically prison because people that go to prison have nothing but time to think about what they've done, what other people have done, what they can do right, what they can do better once they get out, what other people can do better. Like you're just sitting there in a box. All you do is think. Hold on, I got a cough. And see, I'm careful because every time I shake this, I shake my head. And I think what it was is like, so I'm going through some awkward stuff with one colleague and like, yeah. So, and then I shake my head violently and it's just kind of like a twitch, like a nervous twitch or tick or something. But anyways, so back to this though. So yeah, like I said, so if you're like a teenager and somebody forced you to send them pics somehow, and somehow you sent them pics and you're underage, you just distributed underage material. Now, granted, you're not going to get in trouble for that, I don't think. I feel like the police and law enforcement would be like, you know what? I mean, you know, like, don't do it. They're going to tell you don't do it, first of all. But I mean, you're a kid, especially if they were like blackmailing you or somehow like tricking you into doing it. I mean, or if they catfished you saying that they were a 17 or a 16-year-old too, and it's okay. I'm not some creepy, pervy adult. So you got to be careful with that too. And it's like, how do you know? I mean, you don't know. You don't know who you're talking to on the other end of that, which is great sometimes. Because remember, I said law enforcement poses as these kids, and I love it. Like, I mean, I hate that they have to do it, but I respect them for doing it. Like, much respect and much love, much appreciation to our law enforcement for catching anybody who would do any of this garbage. Now, I'll tell you, I mean, I was a quote-unquote victim of cybering, but, like, that wasn't really victimization. Now, if I was, like, a young teenage girl and I got my naked pictures out on the internet, that's where you get the depression. That's where you get the self-loathing. That's where you get the, like, regret and, like, just all the bad things. Oh, sorry, I went backwards there. I went from, like, darkest to, like, not so dark. But still, sorry, right there, I just started twitching my head, getting all animated. Hold on. Mas Cafe. So let's go back to my story. So I stood up for an OnlyFans model or person just because someone was like, okay, you're not, if you have an OnlyFans, you're not an artist, you're a prostitute. And that's what someone was saying. And that's cyberbullying. That's harassment. That's belittling somebody because of their life choices, and that's not okay. Now, granted, OnlyFans does have age verification. Let's see. Well, we're actually going to put this. The requirements to create and distribute adult content require... Wait, age verification. There we go. But this one, age verification, I don't know. So, and this one that I saw, so I was defending the idea of OnlyFans models, and there is, I think it's just like a trolling army, honestly. Like that whole, what are they, groypers? I mean, I think to a point, like, my son and his friends might be groypers, and not intentionally, like, not like the groyper in the sense that, like, they love Trump or they hate Democrats or anything like that. They just love the shock factor. It's just like kids with access to the internet messing with people. And I've been training my son to be respectful, to stamp out cyberbullying, and to be the voice of truth in everywhere he goes, and to have a good time. I want him to have fun. That's what he's supposed to be doing. He's a kid. Play video games, you know, play with your friends, play with other kids, but that's the thing, is like they could, and I've trained them on how to spot predation, being sussy, catfishing. I've taught them about computer vision. Not like, so I haven't told them about like naked pictures and stuff. That part I kind of glaze over. I keep them protected from that. But sussy. Sussy is my fuddy-duddy word. In fact, let's put this over here. Fuddy-duddy. Because this is important. And this is back when the Queen of England was alive. I was debating on how to come about this. So fuddy-duddy, because I was going to make some adult content, and might still, actually. I have a lot of friends that make adult content, and I was dating this gal that did, like, penthouse shoots. Oh, my gosh. She was Annette Allen, and she was, but rest in power. She passed away. And actually, tribute to her, if it's still up, let me see if it's still up. But Annette Allen and Ruby Knox is just such a hot, like, photo. And again, this is adult stuff. Sorry. I should say, if you are under 18, disregard that, because that is not for you yet. just wait until you're 18. That's fine. Or, I mean, 16, 17, 6, 7. I was looking at adult content when I was going through puberty. I mean, I figured out a way. Yeah, I miss her. Yeah, Annette Allen and Ruby Knox, she's still there. Now she's dead. She's an ancestor, and I actually have one of her tags. She gave me a tag because we were dating briefly there, and I was friends with one of her other boyfriends and like her guy friends, we could say. Um, yeah. Is there a movie? Huh, I might have to join just out of her memory. But anyways, when I get some money, first I got to buy some other things like presents for my kids. Oh, and that's another thing, theft. We could talk about thefts because the guy that stole from me is asking for help on one of the Facebook groups, and that's funny. I mean, not funny because he has kids and I worry about that. So I was actually going to do some coaching and just help him, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But anyways, with this one, pirated adult content. So this person, probably a dude, honestly. Like I like to think that a lot of women wouldn't be partaking in this, but you never know. It could be the perpetrator could be a woman too, or anyone in between. But definitely a dude, because like a dude would think of that, be like, oh, I'm gonna pose as a lady and I'm gonna trick this guy and sell him adult content, and he almost did, and I almost bought some because I thought it was really her and I was gonna support her, but I was like, you look on the young side. Do you have like an OnlyFans or something? Because I wanted to see age verification, and I wasn't even really buying it for the content. I've got Cornhub, like we've got free everything. Like I mean, granted, I'm gonna go back and donate to the people that I like the most, um, but for now, with Mr. Broke, when I'm trying to make sure that my kids have what they need, and I got like, yeah, I got more than scraps for myself, so I could pull back on some stuff. And actually, I am. I'm going to try to order some merch with my logo on it from the guy that I built a shrine for his ancestor kiddo. Like, I don't, oh, I don't even want to go there. That's a pain that no parent should ever have to face, and my heart goes out to him and his family. But anyways, back to this. Sorry, and I hate that we just talk about kids and we're talking about this, but like, but those are still kids out there, young adults. Like even if they are 18, they're out there experiencing the world and they get preyed on a lot. And then what happens? So this person did have an OnlyFans. In fact, I got to go check that. I have an OnlyFans too, but like, I don't post anything. That's just so I can purchase stuff. And I have purchased a little bit from what's her name, Missy. Let's see, actually. I mean, I do support it. It's not my favorite thing. Like, hmm. Oh, I don't have the app. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. I have some messages. Hmm. Whoa. Okay. Hmm. So funny. She calls me handsome Alex. But I mean, it is a marketing ploy. So, anyways, back to this. So this person sent me pictures of some naked woman, Hope woman. I mean, like I said, she looked a little on the young side, so I wasn't happy about that. I asked, I was like, do you have an OnlyFans? Because I wanted to see if there was some age verification. So then I went to the OnlyFans, and it looked like, and I'm not trying to sound racist here, it looked like some Indian that had a collaboration of other people's content on this thing, and I need to try to find it. But either way, I'm going to teach you how to find it and search it, and hunt it out, and call it out. So, Pirate AC. Let's see. Whoops. I'm going to do, oh, whoops. Oh no! Signception. I was crouched, that's why it wasn't working. I'm going to do all caps. Call it out. Really, you should call it out on all of these things, but that especially because that could get some people in some serious trouble. If you have underage girls on your phone, that's bad. But if some underage girl is getting taken advantage of, that's even worse. Like, here, come back here. So, if you're a teenage girl and you're already dealing with body shaming issues or like, all the things that mean, girls can be so mean to each other. And then you get this, like some of your naked pictures, some of your most intimate and private things are now being pirated and sold without age. I mean, age verification, don't even worry. I mean, like if you're like 18 and up, it's still wrong. It's someone is making money off of your content and your face and your body. And the problem with that is like when you choose to be done, you can take your pictures down, you can close your OnlyFans account, you can close up shop. However, the digital representation of you can continue to make money, be spread around the internet, and all it takes is for one time for that young lady to see herself on the internet, be like, wait, I stopped selling that a long time ago, or wait, that's one that I never even sold in the first place. How did that get out there? So yeah, that's exactly the problem with that. So, and it's for a little, a mild investment on the malicious actor's part to subscribe to the OnlyFans and like screenshot or save pictures or however. I don't know. I leave all the content I buy on OnlyFans in OnlyFans because I don't want to do that. I don't even want it to look like I'm trying to sell somebody else's work. If anything, yeah. So, and that's one thing I'm going to launch. I've decided while I'm a single man, I am going to do an OnlyFans and I'm going to try to collaborate with some very fine ladies. And my definition of fine is usually a little thicker and very nerdy. So that's oof. Oof. And I don't know, little thick, lot of thick, I'm okay. So skinny and small, that's the one thing I can't do. Because like I was with this lady once and she just made me think of like a teenager. And I was like, this is creepy. Like I feel like I could be your dad. And she was my age, but she was really skinny, didn't really, I mean like, she just looked really young. It's nothing against her. Like I felt bad that I just wasn't attracted to her. And I was like, it's like call me in about 10 years when you grow up. Like, but you're my age. It's like so I was just trying to be politeful or polite, and I actually bailed on her, so I didn't do so good. I went all the way down to Durango, and I ended up hanging out with one of my boys. And actually, it's funny, the same boy that I caught stealing from me when I was a kid, or no, I think he confessed, is how it is. But either way, we're good now. And I think I told him that. Like, I had him to my house a couple of times. So, like, I mean, it's not like I just, like, completely turned my back on him. But I think he feels like that it was. And that wasn't intentionally the case. It's just I stopped hanging out with him in school because I wanted to move on to different friend groups and nerdy friend groups too. Like, I mean, we were nerdy to a point, but I don't know. He just kept stealing from people, and I was like, nah, man, you can't be doing that. So, and he had money. He did it for the thrill, for the social engineering, like to see if he could trick people and con people. And I'm like, man, I'm the opposite. I want to see what you're doing and knock it off and stop it. So sorry, I'm not like he didn't do this stuff, but this stuff, the theft. And let's talk about that. So, physical theft. And really, if you're stealing somebody's work or content and making money off of it, that's theft too. Like, there's a difference between promoting and coat riding or riding coattails, but physical theft. So this guy, all right, now I'm about to confess to a crime on camera. You ready? You ready? I sold him some cannabis. All right, so I've sold many people cannabis. I used to work at a ski resort. I was the guy, the dude, like one of them. I mean, I had like lots of friends that did it too, but we were the homie G's up on the ski slopes. If you wanted some green, you go talk to the homie G's. If you wanted other stuff, yeah, you could probably find it, but like that wasn't my jam. I just liked the weed. Oh, and mushrooms too. Like those are natural psychedelics now legal in Colorado. Thank you, Governor Polis. Just kidding. We voted to legalize shrooms. We wanted shrooms legal for medicinal purposes because we are a bunch of hippies in Colorado. Gangsta hippies. I'm just kidding. I've never heard anyone like that. Definitely never killed. Definitely never maimed anyone. Definitely never. I even lie about breaking a bone too. It wasn't me. It was my buddy, actually the son of the chief of police. he broke someone's arm during a fumble recovery. I like to claim it sometimes just to like sound cooler, but nah, the truth is I would break someone's arm if they broke into my house or if they hit like a child or a woman. In fact, that's a funny story. I almost jumped one of my professors because I thought he was beating his wife. But we can get into that later. Thankfully, I didn't. I investigated, and it's always the least amount of force principle. Like, you can try to negate things and solve problems first by talking. No, first by listening, actually, before you even talk. In fact, let's talk about that. How to solve problems. I'm going to need some time. Or, let's see. Problem solving, because we need to talk about this. So, with all of these things, you might see them in the wild, and you're going to want to go out and try to problem solve. But you got to be careful. Problem solving. Start with least amount of force. Now with Iran, I know some people from Iran. They're pretty good folks. They're like any folks from anywhere. Start with least amount of force. And never, never go lethal unless you're in the military and you're told to do so. And even then, I remember when I was in basic, or well, I was about ready to ship out from the Denver MIPS. I don't even know what that stands for, but never unalive. So I think kill gets bleeped. There you go. Never unalive someone. There you go. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave it like that. Never unalive someone else. And I think that's why I want to start really getting into my Twitch. Not this, but yourself. Never yourself. Or anyone else, really. So that's a bell you don't unring, to quote the great Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad. Or no, this one was in Better Call Saul. Oh my God. Could you imagine if I could meet those people? Now, those are the people I'd want to meet. Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Nacho. Nacho's my boy, man. Like, he's my spirit animal. If I was a gangster, I would be Nacho. So, except the stealing. I didn't really like the stealing. I mean, that's kind of weak, but you know what? Like, I would tell him that. I would tell the cartel, be like, you stealing, you doing dirt for power. Come on, man. You got all these other things. Stick to the other things. Like, and that's one of the things is like, as Colorado legalizes cannabis and natural psychedelics, the rest of the country is going to follow. And guess what? I believe, I have it on good faith, that we could convert the cartels into just cannabis and shrooms, like, or whatever else is legal, and depending on where it is, and they could be a shipping empire, mega shipping empire, make tons of money, and no more of the harmful stuff. And so that's another thing we're going to talk about, the war on drugs. But for now, let's start with this. So problem solving. You got to start it with the least amount of force. It could be like a weird look, or kind of like a grunt, or like a look of disgust. Be like, are you really doing that? And so an example would be the pencil stealing club. And this is my friend. This was my best friend when I was a little kid, and he's still one of my closest friends. And I hope he knows that. And I have a lot of love for him. He helped me out through some really messed up times, actually, with an abusive relationship. He was there for me, and I was being abused. And not really. I mean, I kind of liked it. It was a weird kink. Like, she'd hit me and we would just go at it like crazy animals. But it escalated, and then it ended up with police interaction. So we got to be careful with that. But yeah, it's funny. Some ladies like to get choked. I like to get smacked around a little. I'm just kidding. Don't do that, because it does work, but at what cost? It's like it's like a wild frenzy, but so many emotions. Anywho, back to this. So start with the least amount of force. You could talk to them. Try to in private first. You don't want to put them on Front Street. So like here, talk in private. And this is what I actually just recently tried to do, and I'm going to talk to him about it. Talk in private. Explain your concerns. Private. Talk in public. If they're not going to listen in private, maybe they need to listen in public. You need to start calling them out, start pulling their covers. Like, if you're going to be doing stuff, you're going to do dirt for power. Oh, and this is one of my favorite uh, Jacob Lyle sayings. In fact, let's do this. Jacob Lyle is one of my other buddies from BV. Jacob Lyle. eBay Jacob, look him up. He goes through and he goes to yard sales and like flea markets and Jacob Lyle, but he also makes some really awesome music. That's what I'm going to be putting on the intros and outros of these videos eventually. Um, oh, you can't blur out the name. Oh, okay. I'm going to try to do this though because he is my buddy and he did tell me that I could promote his work. I don't make any money off of it and I don't ever want to, not off of his stuff. I want him to make all the monies. Oh, it's still blurred, so we're going to just do what's the name of his song? Let's see. I'm trying to look at his SoundCloud. I'm also trying to hold my head extremely still, so apologies if this sounds like garbage, but anyways, we'll just do the initials. Jacob Lyle, JL, and then my favorite saying, I hope, oops, life gives you lemons if you've done dirt for power. Dirt for power. See, that's not what a king does. A king doesn't do that. A knight doesn't do that. And my name actually means King Knight, Alex Ryan. It's kind of funny. I was looking at baby names. I was like, oh, that's cool. And so Ryan is knight, Alex is king. Apparently, that's why I read it somewhere. So, not saying I'm a king of anything. Like, I'm a king of teaching you how to protect against this stuff. That's it. In fact, I'd even consider myself a knight. A knight teaching you how to protect against this stuff. I don't rule nothing. I mean, I command respect, and I have a lot of people that respect me up to the point where they'd probably do some real dirt for me, but I would never ask them to do that. Same with them. I would do dirt for them, but they wouldn't ask me. Now, if it was like a life or death situation, they got attacked, maybe. But I would like to leave it to law enforcement. Now, I would like to work with law enforcement in a safe way and see, but you got to be careful because again, I used to slang bud up on the mountains and like, oh wait, back to the theft. We never finished that. So if life gives you, or no, I hope life gives you lemons if you've done dirt for power. So this dude stole a zip off me, right? And no money. So, and that's kind of a lot. That's a lot for somebody that doesn't do a lot. Because I mean, I wasn't major time. Like ski resort stuff, yeah. Around the town, yeah. Never really branched out. I never made a business out of it. Like, the only reason I would do it at the ski resort is to pay for our own bud. Like, you have to sell 7/8 just to pay for 1/8. Ounces went for about $3.50. I need about $3.50. So I wonder if that's why South Park did that. I need about $3.50 because I did. I needed about $350 every time I wanted to go re-up with a zip or an ounce. And like, anyways, enough with that. Because now it's in the dispensaries. Now we've actually made common sense and we treat it like alcohol and we keep it very regulated and restricted to adults, which is great. The actual teen use has gone down. I don't know how I feel about that because I started as a teen. I actually started smoking at 14. Well, the first time was 14, and then I didn't really get into it until like 15. Or no, wait, that was high school. Yeah, no, high school. I was high. Anyways, but this guy, he stole an ounce from me. He was going to buy an ounce, and I was like, all right, word. And I think it was only down to like 280 or something, because that was when I was finally getting like really good prices, and like this was a cancer patient that I got it from. Like the dude had cancer. I knew I was giving it to him. I was taking a tax, but he was getting the bulk of it. I think I was getting maybe like $10 or $30. I don't even know. And I explained this to this guy. I was like, yo, I'm going to be honest with you. This is to help my buddy out. I'm getting a tax on it, and he just grabs it and he's like, you're beat. And I'm like, I'm what? He's like, you're beat. And he gets out of the car without giving me money. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, I handed it to him and I was all explaining it. I think it was even two types too. It was like a half of one type, a half of another. And I was all giving him the spiel and like, this one's this and this one's that. And he's like, all right, you're beat. And he gets out and he had this dude with him that was watching him, waiting for him to come back with my bud, the bud that I was trying to get him. And like, so, and yeah, like I said, he just recently reached out for help from the community, asking for money for jobs and dangerous jobs too. He wants to give people rides. Because then he knows where you live and he knows you. And so then he's going to study you and maybe rob you at your house. So anyway, I got to figure out how to nip that in the bud. People already did. His excuse was, well, let's see. Theft. Black market theft. We'll do that. And actually, I got to get going and get ready for work. But my day job still stays the same. Black market. Because that is like Nacho. He stole from criminals because they don't have any recourse. They can't go to the cops. Unless they do, like an idiot, but whatever. But excuse me. So, but that's that. And now it's coming back to bite him. That little like 280 or whatever, like now he's paying for it because I could give him some money now. I have a little money. And I might still hire him for a job. Actually, let's do Nacho. Whoops. Nacho Varga. So you can look him up and you'll see the fictional character. It's still my favorite. I love him, even if he's a thief. Like, I don't like thieves, and guess what? Prison inmates don't like thieves either. Thieves are right down there. It goes child predators, regular predators, or child predators, adult predators, and then thieves. That's the hierarchy. So this little mark-ass punk-ass... Oh, sorry, I'm going to have to, like, bleep that. Wait, what's the timestamp? 31... it might not upload now. But he's a jerk. There we go. We'll call him jerks and pricks. But anyways, Nacho Varga was kind of a punk for stealing. I will say that. Because what that does is that introduces problems that they weren't ready to solve. Like, I mean, with that guy, like my buddy, he was just trying to get food to feed his dogs and himself. And instead, he got nothing. So I gave him what I could out of my money. So I ate half of the loss, gave him half of it from my money. And, he ate the other half, and then we parted ways for a while because it broke him. He was not at a point where he could handle that. And I thought I could do better, but I mean, I wasn't really back into, especially up in Foco. Like it wasn't my area, it wasn't my town, and I wasn't really doing it a lot. So granted, I got hit with the theft. So anyways, it's confessing to a crime on camera. That's ridiculous. But now it would be tax evasion. And this was a long time ago, and I already got punished for some stuff. And they did say, they were like, well, this isn't the only time you've done this. So I was like, all right. So this is my covers all blanket thing. I got caught. Everything else is null and void. I got punished. So, I mean, I'm just kidding. But everything else, like dealing-wise, I figure that's covered. So, and I'm not doing it anymore. We don't have to. We have dispensaries now. We have medicine, like... I mean, the president's about to reschedule, so I hear. He's dragging his feet a little bit, though, and I'm not happy about it. But, I wasn't happy about Biden dragging his feet either, or Clinton, or Bush Jr. They're all marks, like, not marks, but, like, they're all, that sounds dangerous, never mind. They're all idiots because, or not idiots, sorry, weak, there we go. They're weak because they didn't stand up for human rights and the basic unalienable rights. But anyways, enough of that. Ta-ta for now. Hopefully this doesn't get bleeped too bad, but it probably will. And yes, I hope life gives you lemons if you've done dirt for power. However, there is still redemption. Actually, let's do that too. However, you can make it right. But you got to make it right. You got to make it right. And I'm going to try to guide this guy to make it right. Because I don't care that he owes me that money. He doesn't really owe me that money. That money's gone. He used it. And I think he has kids. And that's the other thing. Is like he was probably trying to pay for his kids' stuff. Some of his own addiction, yeah. But like right now he's asking for help. Probably because Christmas time's coming up and he already spent all the Christmas present money on whatever. And now he needs money to, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest that he asks for specific toys and gifts that he wants to get for his kids, and then have somebody drop him off at the library or a gym or somewhere where there's a toy drop off, and then I can be there and I'll make sure that he gets it and only that. And then I'll have a talk with him and just be like, you're going to need to make it right one day. I don't need your money. I just need your apology, and I need it to be sincere, and I need to know you're not going to do it to anyone else. That's how he can make it right to me. So, yeah, like I said, I don't care about the money. It sucks, yeah. Money's a tool. It'll come and go. It's what you do with it. That's the important part. So, anyways, ta-ta for now. I will see you in the next one. Welcome to Smuff Academy. All right, I think I'm going to start selling merch or like selling through someone I met online. So we'll see. All right, ta-ta for now. I will see you there. And then, yeah, the money will go to these projects of Make It Right. And, of course, Jacob Lyle, go out and support him. Go listen to his SoundCloud, stuff like that. Comment on his stuff. Say how much you like it or what you don't like about it, whatever. He's a big guy. He can handle it. All right, ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one.